Hi Recap Blitz. Today I'll be explaining the 1985 thriller and comedy film, Brewster's Millions. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy. Monty, a relief pitcher for the Hackensack Bulls, a struggling minor league team known more for their losing streak than their gameplay, the Bulls play on a field so neglected that matches pause whenever a train passes by. One day Monty tells his catcher and best friend Spike that he's noticed a man named Donaldo photographing him during recent games. Monty believes this could signal a chance to be scouted for the major leagues, though Spike remains skeptical. Miraculously, the Bulls secure a rare victory, prompting the team to celebrate at a bar. While Monty and Spike are flirting with two women who enjoyed the game, Donaldo is seen outside calling his boss, reporting on Monty's movements. The lighthearted celebration takes a turn when the women's boyfriends arrive, furious at the scene. Tensions escalate into a barroom brawl involving punches, smashed tables, flying chairs, and bystanders either spectating or joining the fray. Despite police being called in advance, the fight rages on until Monty and Spike are arrested. The following morning in jail, their coach Charlie arrives with bad news. He explains the team's administration won't cover their bail since they've decided to overhaul the roster with younger players. Charlie reminds Monty that playing for 15 years in baseball is an achievement in itself and suggests he be grateful for that run. Later in a courtroom, multiple charges are leveled against the pair, including assault and property damage. Despite their protests of innocence, the judge sets their bail at $3,000, each an amount they can't afford. Before they're taken back into custody, Donaldo intervenes, representing an anonymous party willing to pay their bail and fines under one condition: they must plead guilty. Mistakenly assuming Donaldo is a scout continuing his evaluation, Monty agrees without hesitation. After their release, Donaldo brings them to New York City. On arrival at a corporate building, Spike grows suspicious, fearing Donaldo may actually be an undercover cop. Donaldo clarifies he's not a scout, revealing instead that he works for a law firm. Inside the upscale office, Monty learns stunning news about his estranged great uncle Rupert. Years ago, Rupert cut ties with the family after a heated dispute in the 1930s and was never heard from again until now. Recently deceased, Rupert had secretly amassed immense wealth, becoming one of the richest individuals in the country. As the sole living heir, Monty stands to inherit everything, but not without conditions. Rupert had recorded an explanation for his heir prior to his death. In the video, he discloses a complicated family history. His father had two wives, one white and one black, which shocks Monty given his own heritage. Rupert expresses disappointment in Monty for being a failure and wanting to instill discipline. To claim the fortune, Monty must undertake a challenge designed to make him hate spending money. The task: within 30 days, spend $30 million under strict rules. By the end of the period, he must own no assets apart from the clothes he's wearing and must not destroy any purchases to deplete funds artificially. The rules also stipulate that only 5% can go to charity, 5% can be gambled, and none of the money can be outright given away or spent on gifts. Additionally, Monty cannot reveal the challenge to anyone. Breaching this confidentiality will result in instant disqualification. If Monty decides to forgo the challenge, he can walk away with $1 million immediately. The lawyers stress that managing finances at such a scale is far beyond Monty's experience and caution him against attempting it. Curious about Rupert's wealth but daunted by its conditions, Monty asks what happens if he fails. He's told the law firm stands to inherit everything instead. After deliberating, Monty decides to take on the challenge rather than settle for $1 million up front. The lawyers assign Angela from their staff to act as an overseer and ensure Monty adheres to the rules over the next 30 days. After leaving the meeting, Monty ambiguously tells Spike that he's inherited $30 million but refrains from explaining further. He immediately hires Donaldo as his personal photographer to chronicle what lies ahead. Their first stop is the bank, where Monty confirms the money's legitimacy by withdrawing $3 million in cash. At the bank manager suggests services that would earn Monty interest, but Monty insists on an account with no interest, which confuses Angela, unaware of his true intentions. Monty then speaks with the security guard, asking about his current salary and offering a much higher one to become his personal bodyguard. Eventually, he decides to hire the entire security team to follow him, considering he'll be carrying large sums of money. Spike grows frustrated with Monty's extravagant spending, but Monty reassures him there's a plan behind it all. Later, Monty phones Charlie and announces he's renting out his team. He promises better uniforms, transportation, and salaries, but Charlie doubts him and hangs up. Monty then flags down a taxi and hires the driver to be his personal chauffeur for the month. Angela questions why he doesn't just hire an entire fleet of limousines instead, prompting Monty to instruct the driver to do just that. A crowd begins to gather around Monty and his entourage, so he invites everyone to lunch at an upscale restaurant. There they order the most expensive wine and request the musicians to play lively tunes instead of classical pieces. During the meal, Monty flirts with Angela, who reveals that she has a fiancé named Warren. Warren is a lawyer devoted to charity work and social causes, leaving Angela feeling neglected. When Monty offers to pay for Warren's time to meet him, Angela asserts that not everything can be bought. News of Monty's lavish spending spreads throughout the city. When he arrives at a hotel, reporters are already waiting outside. Monty tells them he plans to create jobs and announces that Spike will be vice president of his new corporation. Inside, the hotel manager mentions that the top 2 floors are reserved, but changes his stance when Monty offers 10 times the standard rate. The group moves into lavish suites, and both Monty and Spike rent fine suits for the occasion. That evening, Warren arrives to pick up Angela, but Monty seizes the opportunity to donate to one of his charities. Warren is impressed by the decor in the suite and shares his expertise in art and furnishings, which captures Monty's attention. Monty offers him a generous salary to become his decorator, which Warren eagerly accepts, much to Angela's dismay as she realizes how easily her fiancé can be swayed by money. The following morning, Warren approaches his law firm requesting a month's leave of absence. The partners agree on the condition that he secretly monitor Monty's dealings as their spy. They forbid him from disclosing this arrangement to Angela. Meanwhile, Monty's new office fills with hundreds of employees hired for various roles, including an impersonator. Warren contacts his ex-wife Marilyn, a professional decorator who taught him everything he knows, which frustrates Angela further. Seeking her attention, Monty's behavior turns inappropriate and Warren trips over some paint buckets in an attempt to intervene. Marilyn shares a myriad of ambitious design ideas with Monty, who offers her unlimited resources to bring them to life. During this chaos, an individual proposes transporting an iceberg from the North Pole to Africa for freshwater at the cost of $3 million. Despite Spike and Angela's skepticism of a potential scam, Monty approves the funding. Additionally, he hires someone to legally gamble a portion of his money on horse races and sports betting. Soon after, Charlie calls again, and Monty announces that he's arranging a game for their team against the Yankees, even going as far as sending helicopters to pick up his teammates. Outside the stadium, Monty greets them with a celebratory welcome party and revels in their new uniforms. He rents personal buses for everyone and even joins the team in practice while news of the upcoming game spreads. In the evening, Monty has company at his hotel, but abruptly ends their interaction when Angela calls about an urgent matter. After sending his visitor away, Angela and Spike arrive with a financial advisor in tow. They hope the advisor can help Monty manage his finances wisely, but rather than taking advice on commission-based investments, Monty decides to hire him on a fixed salary instead, and then promptly ignores all recommendations. Later, while playing baseball with Spike to unwind, Spike suggests investing in collectible items like jewelry or stamps. Inspired by the idea, Monty rushes to a collector's shop and purchases the most expensive stamp in history. By morning, news outlets are buzzing about Monty's acquisition, pleasing the lawyers until they receive a postcard sent by Monty himself using the expensive rare stamp for postage. Enraged by this apparent act of wastefulness, they confess their true intentions to Warren and pressure him to secretly create errors in Angela's accounting books, promising him a significant reward if they manage to claim control of Monty's fortune. Later, Monty watches the news and discovers that his investment in the iceberg company has paid off handsomely, tripling his stock's value. Overwhelmed by the sudden influx of money, he instructs his employees to sell everything. To complicate matters, the gambler manages to win all the bets as well. Panicked, Monty turns to Angela and insists on donating all the money to charity. Meanwhile, Marilyn finishes decorating the room, adding numerous touches, but Monty demands even more changes. With Warren preoccupied assisting Marilyn, Angela agrees to join Monty for lunch, mentioning her admiration for a man willing to donate so generously. As they are about to leave, a minor collision occurs when another car lightly bumps into theirs. Though the damage is minimal, Monty insists on taking the other driver to the hospital and paying for treatment. Recognizing Monty's generous nature, the driver pretends to be seriously injured. Monty not only covers his medical costs but also gives him money for alimony payments to his 2 ex-wives. Angela is appalled, scolding Monty right there on the street for his actions. From a nearby window, Warren observes the scene while Marilyn comments that Angela might not be a good partner since she's causing a scene in public. Later at dinner, Warren confronts Angela about being overly friendly with Monty, questioning if her feelings towards him have shifted. This upsets Angela, compelling her to leave abruptly. In other news, reports surface about Monty purchasing 5 cases of 114-year-old wine at an auction. In a grand gesture, he hosts a public reception to share the wine with attendees. Not long after, Spike and the financial advisor inform Monty that they've secretly made additional investments, netting an unexpected profit of $10 million. This pushes Monty further into a frenzy as the others struggle to understand his reaction. Warren interrupts, requesting $20,000 for a furniture rental deposit. Monty hands him the money and dismisses everyone so he can be alone. Turning on the TV, Monty learns about the exorbitant amounts of money being spent by candidates in the upcoming mayoral election. Inspired, he decides to run as a candidate himself solely to exhaust his fortune on his campaign. Angela speculates that his guilt over his wealth is driving this decision and appreciates that he's using it to benefit society. During a press conference, Monty shocks reporters by urging voters not to vote for him or any candidate at all. His subsequent TV appearances denounce all candidates as corrupt and unworthy of support, calling out the broken political system. Monty's raw honesty resonates with people across the nation, and his popularity soars despite his anti-campaign rhetoric. Angela keeps track of his expenses and grows anxious as the funds dwindle quickly. Meanwhile, the two other candidates conspire in secret, alarmed by Monty's influence. Determined to strike back, they file a lawsuit against him for emotional damages. Monty gladly pays the $4 million fine without hesitation. Finally, on the day of Monty's big baseball game against the Yankees, he rallies his team with an inspiring pep talk and reassures them of victory. Prior to the game, a train crosses the field covered in ads promoting Monty's campaign. As the game begins, Monty takes the mound as the first pitcher. His teammate successfully catches the ball, quickly securing an out against the first Yankee batter. When another Yankee steps up to bat, Spike begins heckling him, even insulting his wife. Infuriated, the batter nearly starts a fight and is ejected from the game altogether. Meanwhile, Warren visits the furniture store to return everything he had rented, retrieving his deposit money. As the Bulls begin the game with a competitive spirit, the Yankees soon gain the upper hand. Following a major home run, Charlie is forced to switch pitchers. He commends Monty for his effort and reminds him that even managing to score against the Yankees is an accomplishment worth being proud of. Yet, Monty feels defeated and retreats to the locker room to brood. There, a Wills executive approaches him and explains that if Monty wins the election, his salary would count as an asset. The game concludes with the Yankees taking the victory. Monty gives a speech congratulating them, emphasizing that while money might influence elections, becoming a professional athlete requires true dedication. He then withdraws from the election, pointing out that he never anticipated winning and that the real meaning of his campaign had been overlooked. With little money remaining, Monty declares he'll spend the rest on a party where everyone is invited. That evening, Angela closes the financial accounts with a balance of zero. When Monty arrives to pick her up for the party, Angela rejects him, frustrated by his reckless spending on meaningless things. She storms off, not hearing him say he loves her. At the party, Spike and a security guard search Donaldo's pockets, uncovering that he has been stealing money. Monty's employees feel sorry for his financial predicament and collect funds to help him, but he refuses their gesture. Donaldo retrieves his stolen cash as well. The next morning, Monty wakes up with a massive hangover. The hotel manager informs him it's time to check out as crews are already removing everything Monty rented for the month, including his expensive clothes. Dressed in his old uniform, Monty inspects and approves Marilyn's completed room renovation before leaving. On his way out, the doorman mentions he followed Monty's advice and voted for nobody. That same night, the city is astonished to discover that no candidate won the election because most people heeded Monty's suggestion. With just 5 minutes left till midnight, Monty arrives at the lawyer's office, seemingly ready to surrender. In the elevator, Warren approaches him and returns the deposit money. Frustrated by this setback, Monty decides to sign away any remaining stakes and be done with it. Outside, Angela finds Warren and demands an explanation. Believing everything is over, Warren reveals the truth behind his scheme. Outraged, Angela snatches the deposit ticket from him and rushes into the office to expose the deceit. She confronts Warren angrily, ready to strike him, but Monty intervenes and punches Warren instead. Infuriated, Warren threatens to sue for assault. Seizing the moment, Monty hires Angela as his lawyer using the return deposit funds. Angela quickly prepares a receipt for her service just as the clock strikes midnight, leaving Monty completely broke in the final moments. The will's executor then declares Monty victorious in completing the challenge and awards him his rightful fortune. He also announces plans to investigate the fraudulent behavior of the lawyers involved. Jubilant over his success, Monty celebrates alongside Angela as they prepare to embark on a new chapter of their lives. Thank you for your support. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this.